scholarly or popular. We'll get to that. And then figuring out where you would like your source to come from. Do you want an article? Do you want an ebook? Things like that. Your professor is recording this session, so I think she can upload it into a Blackboard for you guys. So it'll be there. So if you want to pause, rewind, all that stuff, you can do that as well. And then finally, if you take nothing away from this session, please at least take away that you can get in touch with me or the library in general if you get stuck. So if you are having trouble, you can always email us. You can set up to do a Zoom session like this, a Google Hangout, whatever it is, we could work one-on-one. So to work with you guys to help get you what you need. Really, the only thing you can't do is you can't call us because there's nobody on campus to answer the phones, and you can't come to campus because, you know, there's like a pandemic. So, all right. So these are the, you're doing an informative speech, a persuasive speech, and I think a pet peeve speech. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you have multiple speeches, and depending on the type of speech you're interested in, it's going to kind of determine what type of source you're looking for. So a persuasive speech, you may want to find some more expert information, whereas a pet peeve one, you can stick with, say, websites or articles from newspapers, magazines, etc. Okay. When I share my screen with you guys in a minute, if anyone has any questions and I put them in the chat, please let me know because I can't really see the chat when I do the share screen mode. So if someone's got a question, just let me know, shout it out, and I'll do my best to answer it. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of our stuff. Oh, you need to make me a presenter, Professor. All set? Great. Share. Yes, there we go. All right. Can everyone see my PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So there's some of my contact info. As I said, if you get lost, please, the best way to get in touch with us is to email us. Now, the next slide is where I usually have keywords. Okay. These would be what you actually type into the databases. You may notice that this keyword slide is blank, and that's okay, because you're going to help me put in keywords. So you all have different topics, you all have different pet peeves, so we can try and put in some keyword terms to help us search in the databases. Now, once you have your keyword terms, you want to combine them with the Boolean operator and. And is going to tell the database, find me articles about topic 1 and topic 2 in the same article. Both pieces of information must come from the same article. So for example, if you have a pet peeve about snoring, right? Well, why is it annoying? Because it keeps us awake. So we want to know about why snoring keeps us awake, right? It's not just that it's annoying, because it is, but it's annoying for a specific reason, because it prevents us from sleeping, okay? Or at least that's what my wife tells me. So that's what you want to do. Try to narrow it down. Because if you just put in one keyword term, and this is especially true when it comes to more academic topics, like your informational speech, your persuasive speech, you're going to need, you know, let's say you want to convince someone that global warming is happening. If you just type in global warming or climate change, you're going to get so many articles that it's not really going to be a good search. So the more specific you can be, the fewer search results you're going to get, and they're going to be more closely related to your topic. Now, as I said, in our databases, you'll find two types of sources. You're going to find what we call general or popular interest sources. These are newspapers, magazines. These are going to be great for your pet peeve speech, as well as your persuasive too. There's also scholarly sources. A scholarly source is a piece of information written by an expert. So if we're using our climate change one, it would be scientists, okay? Scientists write these articles. It goes through a peer-reviewed panel of other experts in that field before it gets published. So if you are looking for lots of good information, statistical data, whatever it may be, your scholarly peer-reviewed journals are going to be your best bet for that piece of information. So again, they're going to really help you when it comes to your persuasive speech, because these are going to be experts talking about a particular issue in their field. Okay. All right. So that's sort of the basics. Any questions, concerns about that stuff? No? Okay, great. So where do we go to do all of this fun and exciting stuff? I will show you. So we're going to go to the college's main website, www.mcccc.edu. You can't see but out my kitchen window here. You may be able to see outside. There's going to be about 4 or 5 kids running and screaming in about 15 minutes. So if you need me to speak up, just let me know. Sometimes my daughter joins them. Sometimes she's napping. But anyway, the screaming should start soon. All right. So the main college website, scroll down, find where it says current/returning students, and click on the library services link. We have 2 main ways of going about and finding articles, okay? The first way is to use what's called MERSearch. MERSearch allows you to search through multiple databases at once. So if you are not sure of which database would be good for you, use MERSearch. What's nice about MERSearch is because you're searching through multiple databases at once, you're going to get lots of search results. So you're going to find something. The drawback, of course, is if you have a lot of something, you really have to be as specific as possible to find the something that is right for you. Okay. So let's do this. Let's try someone's either informative or pet peeve or persuasive, whatever topic it is you're interested in. Someone give me a topic and we will see what we can find on your topic. Anybody? Nobody. All right, I'm gonna type in snoring.
Here. Ooh,
Okay.
Okay, never mind. I was going to do like dog behavior.
What was
That's
that?
interesting. Dog behavior.
Dog behavior, meaning behaving like a dog?
No, just how dogs behave.
Oh, how dogs behave. Okay, sure. Let's type in dog behavior then. Dog behavior. And we can search. And you're going to see we get a lot of search results. If you notice, there is 76,000 search results. Okay. And if you look closely, you can see that there are articles from books, electronic books, journal articles. Okay. So there's a lot of available sources here. So for you, depending on the topic you're interested in, you may want to decide, okay, 764,000 is a lot. So what do I want to know about dog behavior, right? So this is where you would say and is there anything in particular about dog behavior we're interested in?
Not anything in specific, but.
Okay, sure. Let's just type in dog behavior and let's type in training. So I want to know about dog behavior and training. Find these 2 words next, find these 2 topics in the same article. And if you notice, if we do that, we're now down to 151,000. So again, the more keyword terms we put in, the fewer search results we're going to get. Now, if you do your search and you're not sure, I know I want something about dog behavior or child psychology, whatever it may be. If you're not sure where to go from there, that's okay. The database can help you out. If you look here on the left-hand side, see where it says subject terms. If we click on more, it's going to show us a whole bunch of subject terms related to our topic. So you can see here there's animal care, animal behavior, animal training, and we can scroll down and take a look and see if there's anything, you know, emotions, ethics, whatever, etc. So if you get stuck, that's okay. The database can help you out. Again, if you know you want certain things, you can click on them. Or if you know, for example, you're not interested in, say, memory, you can X that out and get rid of it. Okay. So if you want pets, you can click on pets. All right. The other thing you can do is, as I said, determine what type of source you want your article to come from. Would you like scholarly peer-reviewed? Would you like a magazine or a newspaper? So you can see you can go ahead and click on these individual ones and it'll just return these articles for you, okay? And then again, you can scroll through your search results and see if there's anything interesting. Now, when you look at these articles, sometimes, you know, dog training and behavior, that's fairly straightforward. There's usually little previews or abstracts telling you very quickly what the article is about. Sometimes those previews or abstracts are helpful because they'll give you more keyword terms. Oops, here they go. Like here, social behavior in animals. So sometimes that can be helpful because if you use this keyword term, it may give you more search results, or at least ones that are more specific to your to what you're looking for, because this is a term the database actually uses. Okay. So I'll do a peer-reviewed article just so you guys can see what it looks like. So I clicked on scholarly peer-reviewed, okay? And these are all of them there, and we can scroll through. Okay, here, training the guide dog, an untapped opportunity for behavior analysis. That sounds interesting. Let's click on it. When we click on one of these articles here, it's going to take us usually to our article. In this case, it's actually telling me that our article is in another database. So all I have to do is click on full text online, and it'll take me over to that database. Now, when you guys do this the first time from home, and each time you close out of the browser or turn off your computer, turn it on again, you're going to have to log into the database. It's really simple. Come on, yeah. So how simple it is. There we go. It's really simple. You use your My Mercer portal account. So your username is the same as your portal name, first name, last name, and then your password is your date of birth. Okay. You didn't see it this time on my screen because I just finished a class, so I was already logged in. Okay. But you'll have to log in when you guys use the databases. All right. So here's our article, Training the Guide Dog. I can click on it, and you're going to see it will give me the title. It'll give me the authors, the journal that it comes from. Okay, you can see here that we have what's called an abstract. Okay, an abstract is really just a summary of the article, telling us very quickly, excuse me, what this article is about. So we can read this first and say, okay, this looks good. It's on my topic. I'm going to read it. Okay. After that, sometimes if we scroll down, we'll get the HTML text of the article right there. A lot of times, though, we may have to look around a little bit and look for this PDF full text, and that will then give us the actual article. And so there's our article that we can now read and scroll through it. You guys will see that they actually have in-text citations, just like you're going to do. So before you give your speech, or after you give your speech, you're going to have to turn in your basically written copy of it, where you have your citations and things like that. So here you can see that they have citations here as well. You can scroll through. So here, Asher et al. 2013. So there's their in-text citation. You guys are going to be doing something similar. Just like if we go all the way to the end of this paper here, they're going to have a list of references that they used. So there's their references right here. And here's all the references that they used. This can be great because if you're interested in something in particular, you found it in the text of your paper, that's great. You can see here, it's showing you, I found this particular piece of information in this journal. The article is called this, and here's all the info for it. So the article itself can be really helpful in pointing you towards other articles. So if you need 4 or 5 resources for a paper, don't feel daunted, because if you can find one good one like this, it's going to be able to point you to a whole bunch of others, whether through the database or through the actual article itself. Okay. One final tip about the article in specifically, when you're in the article, if you hold down Control and you hit the F key, that is your shortcut for find. So if you're interested in finding a particular keyword term, okay, like let's say, can we say treat? Will that help? Yeah, treatment, that might be good. So here it's found the word treatment 14 times, and I can hop through the article and find treatment, okay? So if there's something in particular you're looking for, that's a great way to do it with that Control F. All right, now, the article itself, if we want to hang on to it, here's what we've got to do. If we look here on the right-hand side, so there's these little row icons. It's also available too on that detailed record page. Go back to it. Here. So there's your email. So if you want, you can email this article to yourself, send it to Yahoo, Gmail, whatever. Okay. You can download the PDF, obviously. You can grab the link where it says permalink here if you want. There's the link to the article. And then finally, you can have the article do a citation for it, the database do a citation for you. See where it says cite, you can click on cite, and it will generate a citation. If you scroll down, you'll find APA professor or MLA. Yeah, you're too small, I can't read your lips.
MLA.
MLA, you got it. Sorry, before when you were full size, I could read your lips. You're too small for me to read your lips now. Okay, so there's your MLA formatted citation. All right, what's these people want? Don't they take care of that? Oh, there's no one there. Hang on a second. You're going to see me also do my job. Hello, thanks for getting in touch with the library. I'm in the middle of a Zoom session. Can I help you out in about half an hour? Okay. This is why they call me two jobs at once, Calandra. Great. Okay. So you can see that's another way to get in touch. So these are your fellow students here. This person's using the lib chat right down here. So on the home page, you can see they plugged in their name, they hit start chatting, and now they can talk with me. All right. I can't legally show you that because it would be a confidentiality breach. So I'll get out of that. But anyway, there's your MLA formatted citation. Okay. So for every article you guys find in our databases, you can go and you can grab that citation and put it into your works cited page for your paper. Okay. And pretty much all of our databases have that feature. They have the citation feature, they have the email feature, and they have the ability to download the PDF. Okay. So again, really the only difference is the type of interface you're looking at. So sometimes it's over here, sometimes it's up here. All right, that's all. Okay, but that's the basics, questions, concerns, things like that. No, okay, great. So again, too, this one was nice and easy. Sometimes it's a little harder, especially when it comes to the pet peeve stuff. So if I'm gonna type in like, you know, sneezing loudly, for example, right? You know, what do I want to know about sneezing loudly? Okay, you know, you would want to say like, and annoying, habit, disruptive, whatever it may be, okay? So again, sometimes you will want to try and be as specific as possible, okay? And see here, this one too, 10 most annoying passenger habits in Nairobi. So this comes from a different source. It looks like it's a popular source, okay? And there's your article. Again, same thing. You have the ability to save the PDF. You can click on the Cite button to generate the citation. You can change it to MLA 8th edition, which is what we need. So there's your article citation. And then finally, you can email it to yourself. Okay. So again, depending on what you're looking for, the MERS search database is a good one to help you out with. Okay, it's a good one to get started with. And as I said, the more specific you can be, the better off you're going to be in your search because you're just going to get less stuff. Okay. All right. Any questions, concerns, things like that?
I'm sorry, I was late. How do you get there?
Sure. So in order to get to the library page, first head to the main college website, www.mccc.edu. Scroll down. And under where it says current/returning students, click on library services. And that'll take you to the library homepage. And I'm using this MERS search database here. So when I search, this is what our search results will look like. Okay. And there's an article that we found.
Where
Okay.
did you find the LMA again?
The MLA citation? Sure. Depending on the article you select, you want to look for a button that says cite. Sometimes it'll have a little quote mark like that. Sometimes it'll look like a little sheet of paper, okay? But let's click on another one here. You're looking for something that says cite. So pretty much regardless of what database you wind up in, if you look, usually it's on the right-hand side somewhere, you will find an article that, a link that says cite. Ah, great. There we go. So here it says cite here.
Okay, thank you.
click on it. If it asks, you would like the MLA 8th edition. If it doesn't, whatever it defaults to with MLA is usually the most recent, but if it asks, you would like the MLA 8th edition.
All right, thank you.
Yep, and again, you might have to look around too. If I can go back, I probably shouldn't close down that one. Can I go back? So that one that I found here is called peer reviewed. Which one did I click on? This one. So with this one, the citation was still on the right-hand side, but it was down here, and the icon looked a little different. Okay. So there's the article. Come on. Right there where it says cite. So the other database had it up here. This one's got it down here. Okay. All right. Any other questions, concerns, things like that about MERSearch? No? Great. Now, as you can see, depending on your topic with MERSearch, sometimes you can get quite a lot in terms of articles. So what you may want to do is you may want to select a subject-specific database. So if you look here on the left-hand side where it says quick links, going under the databases by subject will get you to those subject-specific databases. And depending on your topic, you can go under business or law or social science, okay? One of the recommendations I have is that if you go into the news section, and you use the ProQuest newspapers database. So under news, the ProQuest newspapers database. This is a good one for that pet peeve speech because it will have articles from newspapers, magazines, things like that, that will discuss, you know, littering or snoring or whatever it may be. Now, when you use one of our subject-specific databases, you will oftentimes see a little button here that says full text. If the full text option is available, we always want to click it because this will get us the complete article, not just the abstract or citation, the whole thing, okay? So please, if it's available, make sure you click the full text option, all right? So here, let's try and do someone else's topic. Anybody want to try their topic for pet peeve, informative, whatever? Okay. All right, Professor, you got anything?
Poor drivers.
Poor drivers. There we go.
You know you're supposed to bring your pet peeve topics today. If you have a topic, it's going to help you. Just let the librarian know some of the topics that you're thinking of talking about.
Okay. So there I typed in poor drivers. Okay, people who hang out in the left lane, whatever, slow drivers, whatever it may be. Okay.
Is lying too broad?
Say that again?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Is lying too broad a pet peeve? Do I have to be specific?
No, lying would be a good one, right? Here's the thing though, if we type in lying.
Too broad.
Yeah, what do we want to know about lying, right? What is it about lying that is our pet peeve?
Lying about small things, just
Okay.
in conversation for no reason.
Here, and we can do, watch this. So I'm going to type in lying, and I'm going to type in small things, right? I'm using this quotes, these double quotes around the phrase small things, because I want those two words next to each other, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you could say like white lies or whatever it may be, okay? So there, we've done this search, right? And we still have over 1,000 search results. And you can see a lot of it has to do with, you know, politicians and stuff like that. So this may be where we want to say like, you know, and not, we would say, you know, not politics, and see if that helps get rid of stuff. Not is another Boolean operator. So if we look here at my PowerPoint, right? When we say not, we're getting rid of stuff. Okay, so we're throwing things out. So let's try not Trump. See if that does it. We might get one search result. No, we got more. What? That's not how this works. Okay. So anyway, the point is that you could knot things out as well. And here, this is where we can go. We can take a look. Embalmer of small things. Sure, click on it. see what comes up. And again, here's our article. Okay. And we can read it. We can PDF it, cite it, all that stuff. So again, this may be something where, you know, we're trying to figure out what is it that is that bothers us in particular. So line here, let's try and see what comes up.
What about common sense?
Yeah, sure. Again, that would be one of those things where if we type in common sense, we're going to get a lot of search results. So again, what I'm trying to get you guys to do is, for your speech, right, you don't want to tell us in the speech, my pet peeve is people who lack common sense. Okay, why? What common sense do they lack? Why it is annoying, right? What have other people said about this? Okay, and you can see too here, right? This is an album review as well. Okay, so common sense and, you know, let's see. Oh, lacking is the obvious one. So we'll put that in and see what comes up. But again, I'm trying to get you to go towards the sort of root of what the pet peeve is.
Okay.
And again, sometimes you can actually type in pet peeve with your particular pet peeve and see what comes up. Okay. And again, you can take a look and see. Okay. So here, right, this one's about exercise. Don't be a dumbbell, exercise some common sense etiquette while working out. Okay. So this is about common sense, but it's common sense in a specific category. Okay. You know, use common sense when caring for animals. Okay. So again, you may want to say, all right, well, what is common sense in the particular situation I'm looking in? You know, it could have to do with driving. It could have to do with, you know, going to the gym or whatever it may be. So the more specific you can be, the better off you're going to be.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. The newspaper database is good for this because you can see we get them from literally all over the country. And that helps because, you know, people do things differently all over the country. And you may like how they do it in Iowa, but not in New Jersey. All right. If you go into these other databases, you can go and you can take a look around at them. You could even go into, say, the psychology databases here under the social science section and type in, you know, pet peeve there, why things annoy us, that type of stuff. And again, too, you have that full text option. And if you decide or are required to use peer reviewed, it has that peer reviewed option as well. Okay. All right. Any questions, concerns, things like that on the databases? All right. So the last thing I'll tell you about the databases is this. If you like MER search, but you find yourself just getting way too many search results, we do have some general databases that are smaller in that they don't have as much stuff in them. So under the general database section, Academic Search Premier and ProQuest Central. These have a little bit of everything in terms of topics, source types. So if you're getting way too much stuff with MER search, that's okay. Come to the general section, try either Academic Search Premier or ProQuest Central. Okay. All right. So very quickly, let's talk about ebooks. So ebooks work the same as our databases, except instead of getting articles, you're going to get books, all online, all full text that you can read. So here was where our databases are by subject. Right below that is the link to eBrary eBook Central. So if you click on that, it'll take you to our electronic books. And again, you can type in the topic that you are interested in. Okay. So if you want, you can even do in double quotes pet peeve. Let's see what comes up. Right. And you can see the phrase pet peeve is found in 328 books. And we can scroll through and take a look and see if there's anything interesting in here. Okay. So here, we'll click on who needs books. That seems interesting. One of the things that's helpful about the eBrary books is that it shows you the table of contents. So if you are interested in a particular chapter, hopefully you can see in here the chapter that you're interested in. So for example, here I don't see a particular chapter, so it's fine. I'll just click read online and it'll take me to the book. And what I can do is this. You can see here, it says there's one result for the phrase pet peeve. If I click on that little drop down arrow there, it shows me on page 48, it has found the phrase pet peeve, okay? Look, this is about you guys. Studies of writing quality in student papers have shown that there has been no deterioration over the decades, and no, today's college students don't substitute smiley faces and texting abbreviations for words and phrases.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
This is not true. This is not true at all. I've seen plenty of that. I'm sure your professor has too. She's not going to rat anyone out, but I'm sure she's seen it, right? Okay. But again, let's pretend this book is good. We want to use it. Great. You can see here, this is our little reading pane, and we can scroll through. Okay. If we go ahead and we can look at this, right? From 1785, our language is degenerating very fast. Yeah. Our freshmen can't spell, 1917. Yeah. People like to whine. All right. So here, if we want, we can download a particular chapter. We can even print it off in a PDF format. Okay. We can grab the citation. There's our little quote bubble with the cite button. Generates the citation. And if we want, we can grab the link to it as well. So all of the things that we could do in our articles, we can do here in our books, except instead at this time they're books as opposed to articles. Okay. The books can be helpful because sometimes they are large enough that they will contain lots of good and different things, because books, you have much more space than an article. So books are great for big, long overviews or surveys of topics that you wouldn't necessarily be able to get in a short, 5-7 page article. Okay. For what it's worth, books are usually considered scholarly. So if you have, let's say you need 3 scholarly sources, you have only found 2 articles, that's fine. You can use a book, and that usually counts as your 3rd scholarly source. Okay. So again, you could do this the same way with the keyword term "and" as well. All right. Any question on the ebooks?
No, but that's interesting because I didn't know that we had an ebook under the library. So that's very informative.
Yeah, our ebooks are excellent. The only thing that they are not great for is textbooks. There's barely any textbooks in here. And they are not great for fiction. So if you have to read a novel, there are not too many fiction books in here. But for things like this, they're great.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Final thing. Let's talk about the internet. As you know, when you go on the internet, there's lots of websites and information and stuff like that. And some is good and some is, excuse me, and some is not so good. Okay. You guys probably have some sort of internalized system as to which websites and things like that you can trust. Oftentimes your professor will simply tell you if you want to use a website, that's fine, but it has to be websites X, Y, and Z. Okay. When you move beyond that and you're kind of just given free rein to use whatever source you deem good, okay, or you're looking for information generally, someone has told you something, you think, well, that seems really suspect. I don't know if I believe that, okay? Well, you're going to kind of need sort of a framework to help you consider at least a couple of different things to think about information and if it is trustworthy or not. This document I'm going to show you is used primarily to evaluate information that you find on the web and websites. But really, it can be used for any piece of information. It can be used for a book, it can be used for a movie, an article, you name it. And it's called the CRAP test. CRAP test. And Cal State Chico has a really nice sheet talking about what the CRAP test is. Okay? And the CRAP test is an acronym. It stands for currency, relevancy, authority, accuracy, and purpose. So we'll go through them kind of quickly. And I will pull up a website to use as an example. CIS all job growth. That should do it. Okay, great. All right, here's our sample, okay? It's from the Center for Immigration Studies, and the report says that all employment growth since 2000 went to immigrants, okay? So since 2000, when this article was published in 2014, all job growth, any new job, okay, went to someone who was not born in the United States. Does anyone believe that? No, most people don't. Okay, great. But if we were to look at this, right, do you see anything in here that's screaming, you know, immigrants are bad, they're stealing our jobs, blah, 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 et cetera? No, it's just a fairly innocuous website, right? There's graphs and charts and, you know, just text. There's no ads for anything, right? It's not like Alex Jones's website, which is just like insanity. Okay, it's pretty staid. All right, so this is our sample. Now,
that picture of Tucker Carlson down there, Mike.
oh, I didn't recognize him without his Klan hat on. I know you're recording that, but it's true. Okay. All right. Do you know that Tucker Carlson is the heir to the Swanson TV dinner fortune?
No.
The Swanson frozen food stuff? That was from his mother's side of the family. So he is a millionaire many times over. So the next time you go buy your Hungry Man or whatever it is, he's getting a cut. Yeah. It's the oddest thing to be like, you know, the heir to the Swanson TV dinner fortune. Like, this is a weird thing to be. All right. Here we go. The CRAP test. All right, so first, right, we have our piece of information. We have our website here, okay? So the first thing we have to look at is currency. How new is this information, right? When was this article published? Now, this is getting long in the tooth now, 7 years old, okay? But at the time, you could imagine it was new. It not only applies to this, you know, when it was published, okay? But also, you know, what data points are they using, right? If we go and look at this chart, it says, you know, that they use this chart from this range to this range, okay? The source that they use, if they cite any sources, I'd have to go through and look, okay? So whatever sources they cite or interviews they used, how new was that as well? Here, this is a good one for the web. Are the links functional? Okay. So if you click on it and the link's not there, chances are you're probably dealing with a site that hasn't been maintained. Okay. Relevance. How closely related is this piece of information to your topic? So if you take a look at this, right, you can see for us, let's say it's spot on. Great. Well, what about the sources that he cites? Are they talking about this or do they talk about something else? Okay. So really, do you want this to basically be on your topic? Okay. Is the information appropriate level, you know, all that kind of stuff. So how good is it for you? And if it's good, great. So far it passed the first two tests, the currency and the relevancy. Authority. Here's where stuff starts to get a little tricky, right? We all know that we've had people tell us that we can't trust these types of sites or we can trust these types of sites. Again, it's all over the place, okay? So if we look here, it's a .org site. Sometimes .orgs are fine and sometimes they're not. It depends. So that really doesn't tell us anything. Okay. Who is the author? This is kind of where we start to now be a little more suspect. I bet this guy's a hack, right? He's just a dope. There's his name. Well, that's a good start. At least we know who he is. So we click on his name, right? And there's a picture of him. Ooh, he's a doctor. Ooh, doctor. Okay. Oh, UPenn Masters. Oh, PhD from university. Okay, so this guy's legit. All right. So he knows how to do this type of stuff. He's got a PhD in public policy analysis. This is his wheelhouse. Okay. Great. All right. So we have this author's credentials. He's certainly qualified to write on this topic, right? Okay. So this passes the authority test. Accuracy. This is where stuff really starts to fall apart. Okay. If we look through this document, you're going to see that he points to certain sets of data. And if we go and we look at those sets of data, right, we're going to see, oh, wait a minute. He just says it's the public use files for current population survey for the first. So because I've done this so many times, I've gone and tried to locate this file. There's like 50 different files. He doesn't tell us which one he used. So you have to guess kind of at which one he used. And if you go and you find one, you see nothing even remotely close to this data. Okay? There's no chart or piece of information that says 100% of jobs went to people who are immigrants. Okay? There is no chart that says that. So either he is lying or he is misrepresenting the numbers that were there. It doesn't matter really because this is wrong, right? This is a bad piece of information. This is not accurate. So if we went and we looked, we can go and we can see the information for ourselves. But he's hoping, because again, he's an authority, he's smart enough to know that if he doesn't tell you which chart he used and he doesn't tell you how he got this piece of information, he's just going to assume that you're not going to go and look. You're going to trust him because he's an expert. This is why peer review is so important. If he tried to submit this to, the Journal of Public Policy Analysis, it would come back rejected because it would say, these numbers are wrong. And if they're right, where did you get them? Show us how you got them.
Right.
Okay. So accuracy, incorrect. This last one, are there spelling, grammar, or typographical errors? Oh my God. There's so many websites out there that just have things that are just wrong, okay? In terms of, they transpose some numbers. They, spelled wrong, words wrong. There was a student who was using a article one time, and in the article, in the first paragraph, whatever short story they were reading, this article spelled the main character's name wrong 4 different ways. And I was like, that's suspect. Like, they didn't even get the name right, so you're going to trust this? Okay. All right. So that's accuracy. So it's failed the accuracy test. Okay. Now, this is probably the most important one. Purpose. Why does this piece of information exist? What is it attempting to do? Think about your speech, right? With your persuasive speech. What are you trying to do? You're trying to hopefully get someone either to change your mind or see their point of view or basically come to the same conclusion that you have. All right. So what's the point of this information? Well, if we look at this site, right, if we look at it more closely, we're going to see by the evidence that, Tucker Carlson is there, losing control, right, border wars. Look this is my favorite part. Center for Immigration Studies, pretty innocuous, right? But look, low immigration, pro-immigrant. What the hell does that mean? So you want low immigration, but you're pro-immigrant. So I don't want immigrants here, but when they're here, I'm for them. That doesn't make any sense. I don't like you, but if you're here, I like you. Okay. So if we look at this, right, do the authors, sponsors make their intentions or purpose clear? Is the information fact, opinion, or propaganda, right? So all of this now on the right here that your professor pointed out, and if we go and look at these other articles on the site and stuff, we're going to see that basically this piece of information, this particular report, exists because it's more or less designed to bolster the right-wing conservative talking point that immigrants are here to steal our jobs. Okay, so are there political? Yes. Ideological? Yes. Cultural? Yes. Or personal biases? Yes. All of these are yes. Okay. So this would not be a good impartial source to use because it's purposefully misrepresenting what the actual job numbers are in order to serve a purpose. Now, I don't know if Stephen A. Camarota doesn't like immigrants or what, but someone is paying him, and this is the information that he has produced. Yes, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I mean, it depends on what the paper is about. If your paper is about how right-wing think tanks, fudge numbers in order to present data in a way that is favorable to their opinions, then I feel like this would be a solid source.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, and again, it doesn't necessarily have to be right wing. I picked this one because it's particularly egregious. Like for 14 years, all the jobs went to immigrants. But again, it doesn't, it's regardless of political ideology, right? If we could find one on, say, vaccines, right? There's a whole bunch of left wing blogs and sources and think tanks that'll say, everyone who's gotten a vaccine for the flu has wound up losing their left foot. Okay. So, yes, it depends on what your paper is. But if you were going to give an informative speech or you're going to try and, persuade someone, this would not be very persuasive because the information in it is inaccurate and incorrect. It wouldn't, to me, it wouldn't work because you would say this and people would be like, that doesn't make sense. But Chris is right. Yeah. Okay. And of course, even though if you go through all of this, as you can see, this did a pretty good job right up until the accuracy and purpose part. And these two are often connected, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be political, but it usually is because you don't want to accurately represent information if you have a certain purpose. Because if you, accurately say that, these numbers are reversed, right? Most native-born people got jobs, and the native population got 98% of the jobs. You have no case. And your little donate button here, right, where we can go and give them money, right? If I give them $5, that's fine, right? But if I give them 500 or 5,000 or 50,000, then maybe they're going to say, well, what do you want us to do for you? Okay, what would you like us to show? Because we clearly can fudge that data should we need to. And as you know, too, nothing on the internet ever actually dies, right? So you have this piece of information that came out. And then, right, all job growth, women, immigrants, Washington, examiner. I misspelled this right. Okay. So here we go. So the Washington Examiner, this is a right-wing conservative newspaper. It says, since 2007, all employment gains for women in the U.S. have been for foreigners. And if you look at this site here, you will see that, it talks about President Obama because he's waging a war on women. Okay. So he's given all of their jobs to people who are immigrants. Because that's how, my wife got rid of her job. President Obama called up her boss and said, she can't have this job. She's born in New Jersey. She's out. Pick someone else. Because he had that much free time. Okay. But again, the point is that if you are of an inclination to believe this or believe that vaccines are bad or whatever it may be, you have something called confirmation bias, where you're going to go and seek out these types of sources and you're going to discard other information. So you're going to say, look, here's an article from the newspaper. You don't believe me? Look, here's the data, right? You can go and look at the data that this guy did, okay? And he's got a PhD. All right. So again, you can use this to evaluate any sort of, information that you believe. You can find them out in the wild all the time. Turn on TV. I like to pick Real Time with Bill Maher because he always has people from both sides who do a variety of representing reality. He recently had on two scientists who were discussing cancel culture as well as the coronavirus, the pandemic. And the one scientist said something to the effect of, we have this virus that has mutated where when you are outside, you can't give it to people. So it must be made in a lab. So this virus, his argument was, if I understood him correctly, is that because we can go outside and not pass the virus between each other, it means the virus has been manufactured in a laboratory. And my first thought was like, well, what about like other viruses that I can, not just be outside with someone, but I can high five them and I won't get the disease, like AIDS. So my question was like, why would he say something like that when we have a really huge, obvious example of another type of pandemic, right? HIV/AIDS, that you can't get through just casual interacting with people. He's a scientist. He knows better. Why would he say something like that? Okay. So again, that didn't come from the internet. That came from an interview that was done on a TV show, and it wasn't left or right. It was Bill Maher. You would have to pay extra money to see this. Don't ask me why, but I pay the extra money to see it, and this is what I get. I get upset. Okay. All right. Any questions, concerns, things like that? No? Okay, fantastic. All right, so here's my contact info. So if you guys get stuck, lost, confused, anything like that, please get in touch with me. You can send an email. We can do a Zoom session like this. We can do a Google Hangout session as well, where we can do one-on-one, share screen, that kind of thing. As you saw, you can also do the chat as well. So if you go onto our library webpage there, you can do the chat. You can see I'm actually getting someone's talking to me right now. Okay, it's beeping and annoying me. Okay, but you can get in touch if you need that help. All right. Okay, so you sure there's no other questions, concerns, things like that? All right, great. Let me stop sharing the screen here. I'm going to paste the link to the library's YouTube page. So if you want, you can go back and you can take a look at the library YouTube videos. Again, they won't necessarily be specific to this class, excuse me, but again, the concept is the same. All right, where's the chat? Okay, I'll paste that on in there. There we go. All right, so if you guys have any questions, concerns, just please feel free to get in touch with me. Okay. Oh, and your professor recorded this too, so if you want to see this whole thing again, you can just kick back with some popcorn and relax. Okay. All right, well, that's it for me. Unless there's any questions, thank you guys for your time. And if you need to think, just let me know.
Where's your daughter?
She is up at my in-laws today because I had 4 classes starting at 9 a.m. My wife took her up to the in-laws up in Edison.
Oh,
Aw.
Yeah, so.
she's the sweetest.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She went to my wife's cousins had a birthday party for their daughter, and she found this little stuffed penguin that's about yay big, and she like loves it, and she took it home with her. And well, that was that Saturday night, Sunday for nap, and Sunday night, last night, she's slept with the little thing in the crook of her arm those 3 times. So she has her Pooh Bear in one arm, and the crook of her other arm is the little penguin. Yeah.
Very funny.
So she's excited to have a little penguin. Its name keeps changing as well. At first, its name was Stripe. Then it was something else. Then it was Jesse, and now it's back to Stripe. So we've had it 2 days. It's had at least 4 names.
Jesse Stripe.
I liked Tux for it, but she told me it's not Tux. So there you go. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Joe. We really
Thank you.
Thank
Oh, and if you
you.
want, it's supposed to be nice these next couple of days. You can go outside and have class outside by yourself.
I know, right?
We always used to bug the crap out of our professors to do class outside because in Poughkeepsie, once it gets to be like November, it starts getting cold. So yeah, we would always bug them to have class outside. So now just get your that long orange cord and plug it in outside. You can have a class outside. All right, everybody. Nice seeing you. Have a good day.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.